This is Congressman Greg Stanton. I'm with my friend Chuck Byers, who serves on my Veterans Advisory Committee, but he serves on so many entities advising their elected officials or community leaders. I don't know how you do all that time, but we owe you a huge debt of appreciation.
Thank you.
Chuck is a legend. In terms of not only his own personal service, but also what he does for the community. And so, by way of introduction, please introduce yourself and what branch you served in, and for how long, and your rank.
Thank you. All right. So, I'm Chuck Byers, and I served in the Army, and I was in Vietnam in '67 and '68.
Thank you for your service.
I actually, I volunteered, into the service. My father was a paratrooper in World War II, and he jumped the day after D-Day. So I figured anything my dad could do, I can do. But then I got thinking about jumping out of a perfectly good airplane, and I changed my mind. But I stayed in, I always wanted to be in the healthcare side. And so I became a senior combat medic, and I took as many courses as I could. I knew I was going to go to Vietnam, but I figured that if I'm going to go to Vietnam, I'm going to be well trained. Sure enough, I got my orders. It said 3rd Field Hospital, Saigon. I'm going to Vietnam. I'm going to 3rd Field Hospital. I get there in Vietnam, and I'm standing out there, and they're calling out my name, Byers, Spec 5, Charles G. And I said, hey, that's me. Where am I going? He says, you're going to the 9th Infantry Division. I says, you can't do that. I've got orders. You know what they told me, right? You're in the Army, where you served, you're in the 9th. So I became a senior combat medic for the 2nd and 60th 9th Infantry Division. And I was there for 11 months, and I had 23 days left. And I've been pulled out of the thing, and I was there during Tet, and
Serious times, yeah.
Serious times, and it kept me busy. Did a lot of med cap, I did a lot with civilians as well. But they pulled me out of the field, and there I am. The battalion surgeon is showing me how to do this brachial block, and some really neat things. And we get a call that our unit is ambushed, and they want us to bring in extra supplies, another medic, myself, and the battalion surgeon. They hardly ever take the battalion surgeon out, so this is pretty serious. So the other medic comes to me, and he has 9 days left in country. He's from Louisville, Kentucky. His name was Dave Squires, 21 years old. And he is a conscientious objector. Never carried a weapon the whole time that he was in Vietnam. So he comes to me and he says, I want to go. I said, Dave, you can't. You're going home in 9 days. I had 23, I had a little bit more, but 9 days. And he says, these are my guys. I need to be there with them.
All right.
They picked us up, and they picked us up by helicopter, and they dropped us in the area where the ambush was supposedly going to be. But we're in the wrong unit. We're the 2nd to 60th. They dropped us on top of the 2nd and 39th.
Wow.
We were in Cambodia June 1st, 1968.
Wow.
We were not even supposed to be there. And this unit was really chewed up. And I was on my 3rd soldier, and I just finished doing a trach. And just as I put the airway in, I heard a stinging sensation, and I got shot. I got hit in my arm and in my gut. So I looked down, and I could feel my arm, and first thing that comes to your mind is, wow, I'm going home. The next thing came to my mind is they're still shooting at me. And I had to protect my patient, I had to protect my soldier. I picked up an M79, suppressed some fire. I got hit about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I didn't get out to 6 o'clock that night. I gave myself 2 shots of morphine.
Wow.
I was able to make it out, and there I am in the hallway, and a priest is going by giving last rites. And he comes over to me, and he looks at me, and he says, nah, I'll see you in the morning. That was like the best news that I ever had.
Oh my goodness.
So I had to go, so they wanted to save my arm, so they had to send me to Japan the very next day, fly over to Japan. It wasn't until I got to Japan that I found out that Dave made the ultimate sacrifice and he got killed.
Rest his soul.
So, but you know, that was his. So, you know, I've worked through and met his mom and took her to a reunion, and that's how we kind of
Thank you for
managed that. So maybe that piece there is one of the reasons why I advocate so strongly and still continue to advocate for my veterans. And I will continue to do it as long as I can.
Well, as we talked to Rick earlier, we owe a special debt for our Vietnam era veterans who came home from that war and didn't get the love that veterans now do. Such a political time, and you know, we did not, as a country, treat those veterans the way they should have been. And so that's why it's so important, even now, for anybody watching. You meet a Vietnam veteran, just tell them how much you appreciate their service and welcome home.
Pushed it in the drawer, shut the drawer, out of sight, out of mind, and it came back and bit us, you know. And now that we're aging, I don't call us the aging veterans. I have a new word for us. We're the silver tsunami. So because we are the largest living group of veterans, but the average age of a Vietnam veteran is 77 years old. So that's our demographic. So that's why I've been going around and doing town hall seminars about empowering the aging veteran with long-term health care options and trying to get health care, making sure to hold the VA's feet to the fire.
Well, it's an incredible story you just told. You incorporated some of my other questions. You know, why did you originally want to serve? You talked about that. Why you do what you do after your service in terms of support for the community. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
For members of Congress like me, and you know, both Democrats and Republicans, they want to do right by our veterans, but there's often a disconnect. Many of us didn't serve, and so we're not as deeply embedded as you are with the community. What's the best thing you think we could and should be doing as government and Congress to better support our veterans right now?
Well, we got it. I mean, as far as the veterans, we're the aging group. So, you know, continue the VA, make sure that our VA health care, that's so important. And we are, you know, when I see a veteran and he's not enrolled in the VA, and he can be, I get him into the VA because the VA does take care of. Once you're in the system, it's getting into the system sometimes is hard.
You got to have all the paperwork and all that, and not everybody
and just recently, and you probably don't know this, but I've been asked to take over the benefits side for the Vietnam veterans. So I'm there at the regional office.
Wow, congratulations, thank you for doing that.
3 days a week, I go to hearings. I've had 2 hearings this week already to represent veterans that have been waiting. So a lot of us have been waiting 5 to 7 years.
Wow.
We don't have 5 to 7 years left. We've got to take care of. And there's over 2,000 Vietnam veterans here in Arizona that are waiting claims. Still.
I didn't realize the number was that high. That's incredible. Thank you for all that you do. First off, your service to country and your service, particularly in Vietnam. Welcome home.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate you very much. Thank you for what you're doing for our veterans right now. Any final message you'd have for the veterans out there that may be watching, or people that love a veteran?
You know what? I would tell my fellow Vietnam veterans, keep fighting. Don't stop. Because once you stop, you know, they've won. But you've got to take ownership. It's not just don't sit back and say the VA is going to take care of me. You've got to take ownership as well. And when I deal with Vietnam veterans, I make sure that they give me 50% and I give them 50%. I don't give them 51 because then I rob them. So I want to do that.
All right, you're a legend. Now you see why I said it was a legend. Your advice to me personally as part of my Veterans Advisory Committee really makes a very positive difference, makes me a better member of the Congress, so I owe you a great debt of gratitude.
And thank you for what you do and support for us.
Happy Veterans Day. Have a great one, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
You're the best.
Thank you.